it gives me the option to turn on microphone on and off, but I don't see video, which is weird.
Yeah.
It usually does.
So just look on her for participants, Lynette, to the right.
Yeah, well, right now it's loading to Facebook, so I can't do that. So you have to hold on 1 second. It looks like we are live on Facebook. I just need to get back to my Zoom screen. Here we are. Get back to Jaci. Non-video participants. I'm not seeing where I'm getting the option to show her video.
Okay, well, at the top where her screen is, where there should be 3 dots or a menu, click on her.
Yeah.
And does it say request video?
No. It says mute audio, disable talking, remove and hide non-video participants.
Look all the way to the right for participants and see if her name is there, and then click more.
She's there as an attendee.
Okay, make her a host or panelist. Make her a panelist.
I don't know how I do that.
It should say it right there. Hey, everybody that's joining us live.
You guys are watching me get schooled on, we had a crazy morning, which, you know, every Monday for us seems to be a crazy morning. This one is no different. But I am manning the controls, and you guys know I'm not that good at that. So
you're in total control. You're in total control. It's your spaceship.
Oh, there we go.
Well, all right. Okay. So
yay,
there she is, except for you're sideways.
Oh, okay. Bear with me a second.
Okay, so now that you guys have watched me suffer through that, I did all of it without sweating. That's good for me. Anyway, welcome you guys to the Facebook Live that we do here every Monday at noon Eastern Standard. As you can see, my hubby's in a car. He didn't make it home in time to join me, so I had to hustle over here and try to figure out the Zoom to Facebook thing. So now
I just thought it was better for humanity that I go ahead and pull over instead of driving like a madman. I'm like, you know what? Let me just pull over at this rest stop and act like a human. So
good call, babe. Good call. So anyway, you guys, we're excited for the content of today's call. And as you can see, we have a guest on here from Canada. And I'm so excited for you to hear her story, because as we were kind of talking through what she could share with you guys today, it became very evident that it perfectly aligns with the core value that we're talking about, which is going to be number 4. We are resilient. There's a lesson to be learned in every obstacle. So before we kind of talk on that in depth, I'm going to invite Jaci to share a little bit of her story. So Jaci, thank you for being on. Tell us a little bit about you. Obviously, you're from Canada, how long you've been involved, and a little bit of your story. Would love to hear it.
Yes, I know. When you told me what you were speaking of today on the core value, I was very excited. And even after getting off the call with you, it just kind of sat with me. And I was like, yes, this is totally like my story and where I've led up to this point. So I'm excited to be on the call too. Thank you guys. So yes, I've only recently joined LifeVantage, and I'm hugely grateful that I've made the decision. It was November 3rd, my sign up. So very recent, but I'm very familiar with network marketing. I've been with a previous company, Beachbody, for over 5 years this fall. So, and I've done a couple other little things in the past, but this was the first one that I really took it into my own hands and wanted to create something with it. Obviously being a mom, I've got 2 littles at home. My oldest just started kindergarten, and my daughter is going to be 3 in April. So, and she's a wild one. But so my husband as well works out of town often. We've always done shift work since the very beginning. We've been together for over 7 years, and excuse me. So yeah, he's done shift work, always away. So I've had to take on a lot, and for a lot of my friends and even family and stuff, they're like, you know, you're doing enough as it is. You're home, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing all the stuff, like all the pink and blue jobs most of the time, right? So they're like, well, don't ease up on yourself. Don't put so much pressure on yourself about, running with a business and doing all that. But most of my friends know me, and even when I was going to throw my hands up to everything and say, no, I'm just totally going to put my head down and focus on my family. When we had some crazy shifts and things come up over the last couple of months. And I had a good friend say to me, like, Jaci, do you really think you're going to be okay just letting the reins go and seeing what happens? Like, she knew me, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, you're right. No, I'm not going to be okay. I need something else to keep me driven, to keep me focused, and just for me, and to feel like I'm contributing. And that's been the hardest thing as a mother, and getting out of, like, you know, the 9-to-5 or the work job or whatever it was. And my husband and I had a huge financial, like, burden on us too, really early in our relationship, with his business going up, and, you know, one tax bill after another kind of came in. Like, I was about 5 months pregnant, and we sat at the table thinking about him going bankrupt. And, you know, I was knowing that I was going to be out of a job soon, being pregnant. And there were so many fears and uncertainty in our life at that point. And I was like, where am I going in my life? What's happening? So we've had to overcome a lot. So when, yeah, like I said, with resilient being today's kind of topic, it was pretty cool to kind of sit in reflection for a moment and just think of all the things that my husband and I have overcome, and then just what's recently happened. And what we're currently going to be overcoming. I don't know if you want me to get into a little bit more of what's recently happened.
That's up to you. I know that's personal. Some personal things that are going on in her life has made her kind of shift her thinking on some things with just in the last couple months. But one of the things that I wanted you to talk about, especially, and maybe we'll circle back, but especially, is how your aunt and uncle who introduced you to LifeVantage, how long ago, remind me how long ago you said it was that they introduced you?
It's been well over 2 years. I mean, they've known obviously that I'm a believer of the network marketing business, that I am very passionate about it. It has helped me hugely just being in where I am in life today with the personal development and the skill that you kind of have to just continue to develop yourself and grow into, you know, who you are today, and be able to contribute to the world. But yeah, they poked me at it, let me know what they were kind of doing. They weren't putting any pressure whatsoever, because they know I was very happy at where I was, and I loved doing what I was doing. So they just kind of poked at me a little bit here and there, and then said, you know, we're here for you. If you ever want to, you know, look into things more, we're definitely here for you. We believe in you 100%. We see what you do online. Like, you know, we'd be thrilled if you ever decided to look for something else, right? Just kind of putting that out there. And that's all it was at first, for the first couple times. And then, you know, they'd ask how things were going with the Beachbody business and such. And the last couple of years, really, since we had my daughter, and things here in Kamloops kind of just started to settle in, it's been kind of crazy. And I've just sort of floated along and kept things active, but not really pursuing a business and doing the income producing activities that you need to do in any of these kind of things to get anywhere. So I had knee surgery last January, and they sent me a bottle of Protandim for my recovery, and were poking at me again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be laid up here for another 4 months. I'm like, is this a good time? Last January. And I really looked at the business, and I was on a couple calls with corporate and your guys' team, and checking things out. And I heavily looked into it, and I was weighing the options, but there was something that told me that I needed to put everything I had to into Beachbody one last time before I decided to, like, walk away from it, in order to, like, feel that was okay. And I thought, with my kid going into kindergarten in September, that would free up some more of my time to really, like, do whatever. So I was close. I'm going to hold on. And I pushed it aside for a little bit longer. And then when NAD launched in October, I had Larry and Belinda reach out to me again and just kind of say, by the way, there's this new product. You need to look at it. And I did, and basically was mind blown. And then I started doing more research, and looking at everything, looking at all the other products again once more, looking at the compensation plan, which was one thing that, like, really got me excited off the bat, because it was different setup than what I was used to, and just kind of seeing that potential that was there, which was really, like, it's been obviously with the financial situation a huge why in what I'm doing off the bat. So yeah, they just kept poking, and then and honestly, I'm so grateful that they kept doing, and it's a huge lesson. It's the, you know, the keys in the follow up, and it's amazing to know that they've put in that work and kept poking me, and gently, without pressure, and then just welcomed me, like, hugely as a team that you guys have. Like, everybody, like Carrie, their upline, was on calls with me, was getting, what do you want to talk about? What are your objections? Like, how can I help you? Like, anyway, just like open arms. And when they all came up from the island to the Kamloops meeting here too, that just sort of like confirmed that, you know, I was going to be taken care of in any way that I can with this team, as far as, you know, getting the right tools and the answers in order to launch this thing the way I did. Because that was one thing, guys. I wasn't going to, oh, okay, let's go try this one. I think this one's not working for me. I had put in 5 years with my previous company and potentially was sitting on a gold mine if I knew I could put in work. And I wasn't going, like, I know what this takes. It's not easy peasy, jump online for 20 minutes every day and chat with a few people and move on. Like, you really have to believe in yourself fully. And that was where my self-doubt within my other company and stuff, and just kind of being so long, kind of dabbling along in it, where I really needed this, like, I'm gonna say rebirth, or like relaunch of something that was going to fully allow myself to like get rid of those negative self-doubts and give myself that self-belief to move forward on something that I was passionate and excited about. So yeah, I just, yeah.
So
Jaci,
oh, go ahead.
Let me jump in just a second. Just say, so you've had some extreme success early on. I say extreme because you've reached the rank of Pro 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And you enrolled early November. So, you know, there's a bunch of people watching this probably like gagging themselves like, great, I've been trying to get to a Pro 2 for months or years and I haven't got to Pro 2. So what I want to kind of focus on just for a sec is, because of your experience, I think a lot of people watching this or going to watch this would like to hear, you know, what attracted you. You just mentioned the comp plan. So, you know, what is it about LifeVantage, a message you could deliver to the team that you think at this point in your time around LifeVantage that gives you a uniqueness or gives you a hand up when you're out talking to people about, like, what does LifeVantage have for you that convinced you I need to run here?
Right. Great question too. So yeah, like, and I looked at that heavily, obviously, being that Beachbody is another like health and wellness company. Like, I mean, I love their supplements. Obviously, I've been with them for 5 years and still consuming some of them. But I started to look at, as far as kind of the behind the scenes aspect of how much work I was putting in with Beachbody, and then where I was getting paid out on doing that work as well. So with coaching and doing the Beachbody thing, there was a lot of kind of behind the scenes work that was, you know, keeping people accountable to their health journey as such, which is a lot when there's just a lot of components and extra things there when you're, okay, here's your meal plan, you drinking your shake every day, are you getting your fitness in, and you in the groups, are you checking in, are you keeping yourself accountable? But there was so much other things where you're coaching people, and when you want to bring on all these people and change all these lives and make an income for yourself, that was a lot of extra work that I was putting in behind the scenes that I wasn't getting paid for, or bringing in new people, bringing in new business. So when I was looking at these products, for one, like the patents and the products and the science behind it was huge, because a lot of the times and a lot of the conversations I was having with previous customers on that previous business and their products, they wanted to look at that. They wanted to see the science. They wanted more specifics. And not saying that wasn't exactly there, but it was really hard to just show them that proof and break it down for them to see that. Whereas when I started doing the research and started seeing what was here with LifeVantage and just the science and that clarity that was there, it was kind of, like I said, as soon as they told me about NAD and I started looking at that, it was like, and because it was so new, it is unique. It is something that's not, most people don't know what we have. And when I started to kind of share that with here and there, and I was thrilled, I had an auntie that I reached out to, and she's like, and I started, you know, can you watch this? I've done this and blah, blah, blah. I started to give it a little lead in. And she's like, sure, yeah, I'll watch it. Sounds good. But she was already like, this sounds familiar. And then I sent her the link to the video, and she's like, I don't need to watch it. I'm 100% already a believer. I've been on Cunningham for 4 years. I ran out when I was giving it to my horse for like a week, and I won't ever go off of it, because she just said like it was the worst week of her life without it. So her telling me that just kind of validated, you know, that I was here in the right spot. I was excited to share the product with everybody. So I was just, the products, the science behind it, and through the compensation plan was something that I was really excited to run with, and to see that what kind of an earnings potential that was there.
Hey,
well,
Brent, I don't know, just FYI, I don't know, there was like a lot of feedback. So when you and I aren't talking, we need to just make sure our lines are muted.
Oh, okay. There was no
Jaci,
feedback on my end, but everything, I'll mute my line out. But I'm just excited for your success. I'm excited for you to join the team, and mostly because I know what the future looks like at this company for people like yourself who are down to earth. You have a very realistic approach to this business. You've already said enough here today that I know you know what this is. There's no grandiose promises. You got to put the work in. However, I do know that this company and this comp plan and these products are just amazing. And I'm excited for you because the future is in your hands for your family and yourself. There's so many people that are going to watch this and benefit that are in the same position that, I'm not saying no one's in the exact same position, but have, as we're talking about this week with this core value, obstacles. So I don't know, Lynette, if you have any other questions, but thank you so much.
No, I do want to just, I know we're kind of short on time, but I want to highlight a couple of things that Jaci and I got to talk about offline. One is that she made a comment that I'm going to refer to often. And Jaci, I think it's your line. If you'll mute your line.
My line?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't know. Okay. One of the things that she said is that follow-up is an act of love. You guys, if we would view follow-ups in that way, we would not have such a hard time following up with somebody. But Jaci is so thankful that her aunt and uncle followed up over and over and over and over for a couple years, you guys. So her saying that follow-up is an act of love, I love that, because if you just change your thoughts, then your approach will be completely different. Something else that she said that she learned in her previous company is that you have to engage in income producing activities, because she did a lot of things online that she said probably helped somewhat with retention. But at the end of the day, it wasn't doing anything to grow her business. That's another thing that a lot of times we fall victim to. We do busy work and we're not engaged in income producing activities. So that was another point I wanted to highlight. And then the last thing that she said that really was impactful to me is that she made a decision to flip belief and fear into purpose. She's had some things happen in life the last few months that she could use as excuses. She could use the transition that she made as something so fearful that she just wasn't willing to make it. And she made a decision to flip that fear into purpose. So Jaci, thank you so very much for being on here today. I feel like your story is very impactful for those who are on the line. There's so much to be learned. And I'm excited for where you're going to take this. So thank you very much for being on.
Yeah, if I could just add a little thing just in touch with that, because the follow-up is huge. And same with turning on, like flipping that switch into like from the fears into purpose and just your self-belief. If anything, like with, I've seen people come and go through my previous business and stuff, and with network marketing, when people quit and people give up and say whatever, it's that they don't put in the work on themselves. So the personal development piece is really key. I don't want that to go unnoticed, because it's a lot of that self-belief, but that self-belief comes from not just, press and play on a motivational speech on YouTube for 4 minutes. I mean, that might spark you to do the things, but it's the action and it's the experience and it's the failing and it's the winning, and it takes action in order to have that belief sink in and just make you that much more resilient. And you have to figure out a solution to all the objections, to any objections that you have in your business, in your own life, because in order for you to come up with that solution, it's just enabling you to teach other people or anyone else has also got those objections that you're going to want to be able to, give them a good reason or give them a reason how you overcame it and teach them. So that's just kind of what I want to leave with. But, and just again, thank you guys so much for having me on the call. But I just, we got a lot going on in my life here. My husband as well has kind of taught me to just kind of grab onto something. When he, like, I'll share quickly, just my husband came home with going to his new job on short-term disability for 2 months, September and October. Crazy anxiety, panic attacks. We didn't know what was going on. It came right out of left field. Within those 2 months of being home, something also made the switch on him, and he decided to go to school for barbering, which, I mean, he's a contract welder. He's been in mines. He's been up doing all that. And everybody's like, what, barbering? That's kind of right out of what, you know, but he's doing it. And it's also the sacrifices that you have to make every day and moving forward with family and everything. He goes to work for 2 weeks up north away from us. And then he's down in Vancouver, which is 4 hours away from us, going to school. He's going to be doing that for the next year. And we'll make it happen where we see him maybe 2 weekends tops out of a month, tops over the next year. But I'm sinking my teeth into this. He's doing that. And it's just, we're feeding off of each other's momentum and sacrifices and energy, and just going to make it happen.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so much for opening up and sharing with us, Jaci. There's no doubt you're going to have success because of the mindset that you're keeping and the personal development piece. So congrats. And thanks again for being on here with us. And you kind of teed Brandon up for some of the things that he wanted to talk about. So thank you.
Perfect. Wonderful. Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for being on, guys. So what she just kind of laid out is a perfect example of our core value. Again, our core values were developed with years of experience and understanding what it takes to be successful in LifeVantage. And resilience, the quality of being resilient isn't something that is just something you need at LifeVantage. However, because of the high level of skepticism and the non-traditional avenue network marketing follows, it takes a higher level of resilience. But it's a quality that, if you understand human psychology, human behavior, for instance, there are many more freshmen in college than sophomores because many freshmen quit. And there's many more sophomores than juniors because sophomores quit. And there's many, I'm saying it in reverse. There's more freshmen than sophomore, more sophomores than juniors, and more juniors than seniors. And there's more seniors than people that graduate because people just quit. So the question is why? Well, because it gets hard. Their level of being resilient isn't high enough. The obstacles become bigger than the goal. The obstacles become bigger than the why. And so when we say your why is important, you better believe it's important. Because if it's not important, if your reason for doing this business isn't crystal clear to you, the big reason, you're gonna become a statistic. And so it's important that you're resilient. And then, so how do you stay resilient? Well, Jaci talked about its belief, but so Lynette, right now, we're getting a bunch of obstacles thrown at us, but we're getting a bunch of excuses thrown at us right now, right? Not you and I, but network marketers, right? Right now, what are some of the obstacles that people are going to face right now? Like, someone picks up the phone and they call someone, what are they going to hear right now?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that people are busy this time of year. People are traveling, they're here and there and everywhere. And so we may be hearing, when we reach out to somebody who said that they were going to get on a call with us, or who said they were going to attend a meeting or get on a Zoom, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just too busy. And that may require that you put forth more effort in reaching out to them. You may have to reach out to them multiple times, when in a typical month, that same person, you wouldn't have to. So there has to be some resilience in that. But you guys, here's the other thing. A lot of times we hear, I don't have money in addition to time. Well, interestingly enough, in the month of December, people are spending money like there's no end to it, right? They're telling you they have no money, and then they're going straight to the mall and spending money. So what does that tell you? What that tells you is you have yet to convey to them the significance or importance of what you're sharing, because they're spending money. They're just choosing to spend it elsewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In every conversation, guys, someone's buying and someone's selling. So if someone says, hey, let's just wait till after the first, are you buying that? Are you buying what they're selling? Because if you just say, okay, then you've bought it. Or if they say, I don't have any money right now. I got to get a bunch, I don't have any money right now. Are you buying that? Because if you're buying it, they sold it to you. And so it doesn't mean that we become argumentative with people. It just means that the obstacles they're giving you cannot be bigger than your goal. So that means you need to be prepared. You need to understand how people work. You need to know the seasons of the year, what people think, and you need to be able to flip the switch on them. So if people are saying, they just don't have any money right now, you need to be prepared to share with them things that they could do to take advantage perhaps of purchasing products from your organization or from you right now. For instance, you may be willing, because this time of year, if they will buy something, you will give them something free, or you will do something in return. You just have to create value and flip the script on them and not buy what they're selling.
Well, the other thing I was thinking, Brandon, is that people don't realize that starting a new business is a tax deduction, right? So if they make a decision to get involved in a new business before the end of the year, then they're going to benefit come April 15th, right? And when they get started in the business, they're going to get products that then they could potentially gift if they so chose. But the reality is it's a matter of understanding that there are obstacles out there, but we don't accept that. We're going to learn from the obstacle. We're going to be resilient, and we're going to formulate a plan in order to make that happen. And that's what it boils down to. It's preparation and getting your mind where it needs to be and not just laying down and accepting that the obstacle wins. Because here's the deal. We're coming up on the end of the year. We're coming up on the end of the month of December. What will your closeout of the month of December look like? Will you have accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, or will you allow the objections and the obstacles that are potentially being thrown at you to keep you from your goals? It's your decision whether or not that happens. You can take control of that and not allow it to happen, or you can lay down and let it happen. It's all a decision, right?
And just remember, guys, a lot of leaders, Lynette and I included, thought about quitting. All of us think about quitting. All of us get frustrated. All of us fall victim to buying what someone else is selling. And you're going to have to, in those moments, have a bigger reason to do this than a reason not. Your reason to do it must be bigger than your reason not to do it. And so that's what's always kept Lynette and I focused. And Lynette, I don't know if you want to shift gears, but we've got some big things coming in a couple of days that we need to be focusing on. Well,
I know you're on your phone doing the Zoom, but it's already 12:31. So I know we need to keep it concise. But are you referencing January 10th? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Talk about the cyber launch.
Well, so January 10th, LifeVantage is having a cyber launch. It's not necessarily that they're launching a particular product, right? We had that earlier this year, but there are some exciting things that they're launching. And one of our leaders out of Louisiana threw a little, I don't know, what's the word? A little challenge out there. She said, well, what if Louisiana has a cyber launch event and we have more people in attendance than Florida? And we're like, oh, really? Is that what you think? So you guys, I think that it was a great suggestion that Tori Hill made, because you guys know building from event to event is where it's at in this profession. And why would we not maximize the event of the cyber launch that's going to happen on Friday, January 10th? So she actually reached out to corporate and said, listen, if we put together a big group, would you guys consider throwing in some giveaways or something? And they said, absolutely, we want to support that. So I want you guys to start thinking about doing a big event in your area. And we'll, in the meantime, find out what would qualify for corporate to be involved in giving away some giveaways. But I can tell you, Louisiana is doing a big cyber launch event, and Florida is going to do a big cyber launch event. So in your area, you leaders start getting some thoughts together as to what you can do with that. And listen, if you're in an area where there's not a lot of people and you have to do a smaller event, that's okay too, right? It's still a lot of fun. It's a Friday night. You can make it a cool event. But start thinking about that, because that'll sneak up on us in no time.
Yeah, we'll do some fun things that night, guys. We will go live. We will track the home parties. We'll do a Zoom. We'll throw a Zoom link out, let everybody start linking their homes up to the Zoom link so we can see each other. And we'll calculate how many people are in the house. And we'll maybe put the Canadian provinces against each other, you know, and you may not be number one or number two, but throw your state up on the board. Let's see who our team members are from around the country, and let's have some fun with this thing. The announcements that are coming are going to change your business. LifeVantage has blown Lynette and I away with what they've stepped up to do. They've simplified things. We are going to have a blast. And on the note of cyber launch for the Canadians, I've got with some of the leaders up there. We are having a cyber launch / Zoom just for Canada. So yes, you can watch the cyber launch that will come out of Utah. I would suggest you do that. But we also will provide a cyber launch event 100% for our Canadian team, because you guys have different things that you need to know about, and we are providing that. Colton Smith has agreed to that, as well as our Spanish teams. We are doing a cyber launch for 100% of our Spanish team, so the entire event will be in Spanish. There'll be no English. It's going to be a 100% Zoom launch in Spanish, so all of our Spanish teams out there will get that, and we're looking forward to that event. And so focus on that. Throw home parties together. And on that note, just in closing, getting together is important. There's virtual trainings that will be happening in January. So plug into some virtual trainings from your leadership and your support. If there's not a virtual training that you're aware of, put an event in your home. And we're, as a team, suggesting that it's that first Saturday of the month. So that would be just a few days prior to the cyber launch. And so, guys, what a great time of the year to be building culture, to know who you're going to be running with. Guys, if people show up to your home, that's your running mates. That's the people that you're going to get to do this with for the next few months. It's a real good indicator of who wants this, who's serious. Find out, you know, if someone's willing to chip in and help with the event and organize the event with you. That's a real big check mark at their level of interest and desire to build this. So we're excited about the things to come for this team. And guys, keep crushing December. You guys are doing amazing. And start preparing for this challenge, the Cyber Launch Challenge. We're going to have some fun. And Lynette and I will do some cool things for whatever state or province puts the most people in a room. I'm a little scared of Vancouver Island because I think that's one province. So they may put more people in a room than all of Louisiana and all of Florida. I don't know, but we're going to see. We're going to give you a run, Canadians, Canada.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for jumping on here with us today. We will look forward to chatting with all of you during the week and for sure next Monday. Have a good one. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.